Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode. As always, if you want to watch the larger version of this, where I go into Bitcoin, tariff fears, bond markets, what we're looking at here, and generally my thoughts, which is defensive, which is pretty bearish in the short term. Feel free to sign up and become a newsletter subscriber, and you get the full version of the Altcoin Bible every single week, as a bunch of other content perks as well. All right, let's get into the episode that we have. My three cryptos today: XRP, SUI, and Hype. I'm looking today at XRP as my danger zone. The reason why, it is lagging quite significantly, and I think some things have been holding it up, particularly maybe some ETF talk, potentially some other things as well. Maybe some big whales and investors have been buying it up. But I do think the technicals are going to catch up to XRP sooner rather than later. I've been watching it very, very closely personally for, maybe shorting it at some point. And it has just closed beneath the 200-day moving average. So that was kind of my thought. That was my trigger. If I just have a look here with the Fibonacci retracement from this huge pump that it's had, this to me, just to my eye, looks really heavy, that it needs to come back and correct. And I'm thinking the 0.786 is potential here, $1.10, but at the very least I think $1.60, $1.50 is on the agenda, back down to 0.618 to at least feel out this wick that we've got, potentially going lower. We will see. XRP is pretty well defended when it does roll down, so we'll again just have to watch. The RSI looks like it should come into the daily oversold territory down here, which it hasn't really been in since July 24, and even that was pretty fleeting. I think it's just due for a really big just flush out, whether that's down to the 0.618, whether it's up here, whether it's lower, I don't know, but it definitely needs to, gravity's going to take over, which is what I'm just noticing here. So it's close beneath that 200. Where does it go from here? Like I said, those are my levels. I think if you're buying, you want to look for potential opportunities in those areas, like I said. So anywhere between $1.10 and $1.50, $1.60, you could look to structure through, but I'm just looking at those core levels, also around volume blocks, so maybe through here as well. That's exactly where I'd be looking at. And on the upside, and if you're buying in those areas, you probably want to be selling at $2 even. I think that's a really good level. If it flips $2, she's bullish again. So if this just turns around here and flips the $2, I think it's off to the races. But there's just so much overhead resistance here now, and it's been getting weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. It's going to puke eventually. So just keep that in mind, guys. I think there's plenty of opportunities to buy this lower, selling up at $2.20 and $2 I think makes sense. All right, let's get on over to let's just say my one to watch today. I've had to choose two cryptos that look okay. Most cryptos out there look absolutely smashed. So I'm just trying to think about how to get in front of a potential reversal, what I look for an opportunity. SUI, it's always shown a lot of strength. Maybe not so much of late, but it does against Bitcoin pairs often. It still looks like one of the better charts technically, so I will focus on that here. It's exactly where I want it to be if I'm looking for opportunity, which is at this really crucial support level on this green line here. So there's price action through there. If I bring up the volume profile as well, it's on a big volume block, and the next one is down at about $1.12, but I think $1.50 is probably where this goes if this level fails. So that's kind of how I'm thinking at the moment. But for me, this is a great risk reward area to start, sort of buying through these regions. And I think down to $1.50 from here is really smart. That said, I think SUI here is technically quite looks pretty good. If it holds here, that it could make a pretty quick run if it breaks that downtrend. But ultimately, I want it to flip this level here at $2.80, and that's when we know that she's really off to the races. So I think if it does breach this downtrend, sell levels could be at that 50-day moving average at $2.50, and then $2.80, $2.74 is probably a good area to take some more profit off, before maybe leaving a bit for a longer term investment, or however you want to play this. That's how I'd be looking at it. But right now, it's still in a downtrend. There's some triggers above that I really want to see met. Also, just a thought here, we do have this very clear lower low price action, but just of late, since this little drop here, we've actually had momentum pick up, so a higher low on the RSI. So we've got a bullish divergence emerging, and we want to see it actually break the downtrend and go higher for it to confirm. But this is promising. I still feel though lower prices on the offering, just for just about everything, to be honest, and not much lower, but I think they're going a bit lower, in line with Bitcoin. So SUI, one to watch / cherry ripe. Now this one here, again, one to watch / cherry ripe, but I'm going to give it a little bit more impetus. It's almost like a breakout cherry ripe, where I'm looking for one specific trigger for it to go higher as a cherry ripe. Now, this is a very clean chart. It's a very short chart, not much price action, which is a sort of a blessing and a curse in some respects. Doesn't have all the baggage, also doesn't have much that we can work off, but technically most traders are working off what you're seeing as well. So if we're looking here, it's at a crucial level. It's launched over here, and we're now straddling that same level through here. It's been used as resistance and support, and we're now looking to use it still as resistance. But that said, the trigger for me is if we flip that $2.40, $2.50 on a daily close. So punch up, come back down, retest, solidify. I think it's going higher pretty strongly, over a prolonged period of time. But I think that's a great setup for a long, or buying as an investment in a short medium term, and taking profit at the 50-day moving average, the 100, then rolling higher as well. But that is my trigger. And we've also got that strong bullish divergence emerging, those price action candles going lower, the bodies of the candles going lower, and then you've got this beautiful higher low on the RSI. So everything here is building for this to actually flip and run, but you want to wait for that trigger. That is the key. It's patience and discipline before you go high. So I'd only be buying on a trigger of personally 1250, 1240 could layer back in, and then you can manage risk really effectively under that level before you roll higher and take some profit off the table. But this really runs really quite strongly if it can get over these kind of levels and that level there. So we want to flip that level like I've done with the first squiggle, and then if it cracks that, then it's going to the higher levels where you can take some profit. It always looks easy in hindsight, but if you do a simple plan like that, you can roll really effectively. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this short altcoin Bible. Hopefully we get the sort of the flush that we're looking for in the market. If you're looking for those bids lower, if you're not, then I hope we bottom here and we go higher. But there's a lot of turbulence out there. So just stay safe, preserve your capital, be defensive where possible, and then look for opportunity if we get, golden tier entry. So have a great day. We'll catch you again soon. See you guys. Bye.